Welcome to a very good morning here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Exciting times to have you here on the channel. It's been a couple of hours away. We've not spoken, we've not seen each other. If you are new to the channel, this is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Do the best in football tactical analysis here. We break down everything football, the stats, do the analysis, everything that's going on in the world of sports. So if you are new, thank you very much for choosing me. Sorry. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notification. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. There's a lot to unpack for you here on the channel. So stick and stay. Let us get into the conversation. Chelsea are playing. Chelsea's next of games are very, very, very difficult. There is the Manchester City game. There is a Liverpool game. After that, there is a cup game again. And these round of games are very, very tough for Chelsea. I'll tell you why. This is the make or break part of Chelsea's season as it stands now. It is make or break. Seriously make or break for Chelsea because Man City are on red hot form. They are excellent at almost every phase of the season as it stands now. Kevin De Bruyne is back. You have your man Erling Braut Haaland, who's also back in the team. They're scoring for fun. They're having some very, very good times in their team. And if you are Chelsea and are going to meet them at this point in time, it's a difficult game. So how are Chelsea going to approach this game? How many points can they get from the rest of the games that are yet to play? And then we'll look into the update from Chelsea. We'll do the proper tactical analysis for you in the preview for you later. But today we'll look into that. We'll look into FC Bayern Munich, Thomas Tuchel's issue at FC Bayern Munich. So there's Man City for Chelsea. There's Liverpool up next after them. There's Leeds United in the FA Cup 5th round. There's Brentford also in the league, a very, very difficult game. There's Newcastle in the league at home at Stamford Bridge, and there is Arsenal on the horizon. Then there's Burnley, there's Manchester United, there's Sheffield. In fact, the next round of games, about 10 of them for Chelsea, are really, really, really going to be difficult. Really, really, really going to be difficult. And if you look at it from the games that Chelsea have played, the fact that they have not been consistent, some games they've been lackluster, in some games they've actually been good. You ask yourself, where will Chelsea go from here? How many points are they going to get from this? How many points are Chelsea going to get from the game against Manchester City? Would they be able to do enough to beat Liverpool to the Carabao Cup? Is this something Chelsea can do? Quite apart from that, we've heard that Liverpool have some injury updates and whatnot in there. We'll talk about all of that. So I'm stick and stay. But I want to start with the Champions League. I want to start with Thomas Tuchel and all the issues that's going on around him. And if you go to all the Bavaria outlets, all the outlets that talk about FC Bayern Munich, they tell you about Thomas Tuchel and how things have been hot for them. Red hot stuff for Thomas Tuchel and his charge. So yesterday, 2 games went on in the Champions League. First of all, it was Paris Saint-Germain versus Real Sociedad. And what a game it was for Paris Saint-Germain. In the first half, they weren't playing particularly well. All of a sudden, they turned the game on its head. They've made sure that they won the game by 2 goals to be good in there. And then the other one that went on in Italy, Maurizio Sarri versus Thomas Tuchel. 2 Chelsea former managers went head to head over there. And you see, I've constantly said that Thomas Tuchel's teams, Maurizio Sarri's teams do not have character. When it matters most and they need to show themselves, they need to impose themselves in games, they need to be aggressive, they need to be they need to be arrogant. For want of a better word, in games like that, they fail to do so, and that is it. When we were going into the game, I was worried that maybe they are not going to be able to get anything from this game, and they need to be careful because it's going to be a difficult game for them. But they went into the game, they were resolute, they were good, controlled large parts of the game, and then they ended up beating FC Bayern Munich. Of course, via penalty. Of course, it was a red card for Dario Upamecano. But again, it was a very, very spirited performance. I like the press. I like the counter press. I like how Tuchel wanted to play. Tuchel intentionally wanted to play in the 4-3-3. I think it was a game of margins. If you look at that Jamal Musiala shots, that was missed the pole by inches. If you look at stuff like that, you look at how good they played in certain pockets of the game, inside and out, when we were building up. It was good. And then Lazio also equally very good with the aggression and pressing and counter pressing. But again, hey, it's a game of fine margins and you need to do it. And that has put Thomas Tuchel under pressure. He has put Tuchel under pressure. Yeah, the Bayern outlet is reporting that Dayot Upamecano was subjected to racial abuse, and then a lot of fans are disrespecting him, abusing him racially. Of course, that's something that we do not agree to. But that's the first time Bayern are losing in a round of 16 in the Champions League since 2012. Since 2012, that was a loss in Basel. For me, it was a disappointing game, and Thomas Tuchel is under a lot of pressure. And funny enough, Thomas went to the post-match presser. He was asked about his job. He said, "Hey, forget about my job. Let's talk about the game. I don't want to talk about the job. I am confident I'm going to retain my job. There's nothing at stake with my job. I am good and I can go on." So, what to see? I don't know. As a Chelsea fan, I'm asking if Thomas Tuchel is sacked today. If Thomas Tuchel is sacked today from FC Bayern Munich, are you willing to accept him back as the next Chelsea manager? If Thomas Tuchel is sacked as Chelsea as FC Bayern Munich manager, are you willing to accept him as the next Chelsea manager, given things that are going on at Chelsea? Do you think that he can turn things around at Chelsea in there? So dismissing Thomas Tuchel actually in Germany has not been the main topic for them. The coach is sit on the bench on Sunday against Bochum. There is, however, no longer 100% guarantee that Tuchel will continue at least until the summer. Although that was the plan without the club's management. If Bayern drop points on Sunday, the situation will become increasingly difficult. And I think that's true. That's what Plenty Goal is reporting, that if Bayern are able to do drop points on over the weekend, then definitely Chelsea are going to be in some Thomas Tuchel is going to be in some trouble. He may lose his job actually. And if he loses his job as a Chelsea fan, would you have him at Chelsea Football Club? Or you don't think that he's faced enough Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel? Maybe it's just a match made in heaven. But apart from that, Germany and Bayern don't seem to be a good place at all. Having players like Harry Kane and not playing good stuff and having good creativity, it's a big one. And Thomas Tuchel, still the right coach for Bayern, was asked Thomas Muller. And Muller says, you can have these discussions over the coach, but we the players are wrong people to talk to. That's also a bit disrespectful. Of course, the sporting situation is not in a good moment. We players and the coach are working every day to overcome it. You can do your analysis, but you don't have to wait for us to tear ourselves apart. We stick together. And I think that's some very, very good stuff from Thomas Muller over there, showing his experience, showing the fact that he is a statesman when it comes to the running of FC Bayern Munich. And that's it. But hey, let us go to Chelsea. Let's talk about Chelsea. Everything that's going on with Chelsea. There have been some new stuff. There have been some updated stuff. We want to talk about them. Mind you, before we even go to Chelsea, Manchester United have their man now, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, officially, and his Ineos group are taking over 25% of Manchester United. I think that this is going to be a monumental change. This is something I've called for. This is something I've spoken about for a very long time. It is about structure. It's about getting leadership in proper structure, proper governance structure, sporting governance structure, having a way to run things well, moving things the right direction, getting things done the right way, and not necessarily hiring and firing people. It's about getting the job done. When the Ineos group are in to get a job done, they are talking to Dan Ashworth. Yesterday, my mom, Jacob Steinberg, has reported that it looks increasingly likely that Newcastle are worried that they may lose Dan Ashworth to Manchester United. If he goes in there as a sporting director, or the head of the sporting team, it's a big move for Manchester United because he's going to oversee the sporting direction of the club. He's going to be in charge of picking the next manager. He's going to be the guy that does all the bits and pieces for FC Bayern Munich. So you stick to it us here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. We are going to give you everything that you need to know on the analysis of Manchester United and everything that's going on. So yeah, Manchester United look like they're going to get their money done, Ashworth, and everything's going to go on for them. Let us get into Chelsea Football Club and everything that's going on there. So you stick and stay. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Give you the best of football and analysis. So Chelsea have Manchester City next. What a game! I'm looking at two ways in terms of my research for the pre-match analysis I'm going to do God willing tomorrow. Tactical analysis on the tactical board. I'm asking myself, what's the game state going to look like at any point in time? Is it going to be like what we saw at the bridge for Chelsea, or Pep and his team are just going to tear Chelsea apart? How is it going to go? So that's exactly what I'm thinking about. And Cole Palmer has spoken. It feels good to going back to Manchester, to go back to Etihad and play against his old friends and stuff like that. City won in the Champions League. It's a difficult game. Then you look at all of these things and You talk about some other stuff. You talk about what Chelsea can do against a team like City, the press, the build-up, Mauricio Pochettino, what it's going to mean for the team if they're able to get something away at Manchester City. Then, but again, you put that in the context of they going away to Liverpool and how the team was torn apart by the home crowd and everybody there. The return of Nkunku, the new shape with Nicholas Jackson, the fact that there are a lot of runs in behind. How are Chelsea going to deal with Man City's rest defense or the back three, Vardiol, Akanji, and Nanake? The extra midfield overload of John Stones in the middle of the park against City. Will Caicedo and Enzo be able to impose themselves in the game and believe that they are big name players and they can override almost every team in the Prem when they come up against Rodri and the likes? It's a difficult thing, but we'll build up into it slowly. So if you've not subscribed to the channel here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, stick and stay. Let us do the analysis. Let us build up all this stuff. But for me, it looks as if Chelsea are well placed for it. And if you look at the number of games that are coming, it's a make or break. It's a make or break. It's either Chelsea's season begin to go high up on the ascendancy, or things just begin to take a proper nosedive, and that's going to be huge. But I think that this is a part of the season where Chelsea look like they're going to get things together. They look like things are going to go on well. Albeit there is no empirical evidence to show for it, but it's a team that you want to believe that can turn things around. And I've seen Chelsea go through patches of their development, even as a club, where it takes time. But this time, I think that they can do something against City, against Liverpool. It's a difficult game, very, very difficult game to play against Liverpool and City. But if they do their things well, if they manage things well, definitely they should be able to get some very, very good results against City, against Liverpool, against Arsenal. Man United is on the horizon. There's Newcastle, there's Leeds United. There's a lot. And I like the fact that the team's theme is now to stick together, to stay together, and to make sure that they push each other to get results. So we'll wait to see how all of that goes. But Mauricio Pochettino is waiting. He's waiting to see if his players can really, really react to him and they can get results in that game against Manchester City. It's huge. It's huge. We will see how that goes. Pochettino says that he doesn't care about the rumors. He doesn't care about the tension. He doesn't care about the pressure. It's about the stresses. And you know how good they have been working as a team, and he thinks that they can do what to see. I mean, it comes big against teams like Manchester City. That's where you earn your money for how much of a good team that you are. Emmanuel Petit says, I think that Chelsea need a proper manager with a vision. He doesn't believe in Mauricio Pochettino. We'll see how it goes. This is where we bring you the end to Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube on today's analysis. Stick and stay.